Drizzle Cake's house in his cinema room, as I like
Hello.
to call it.
Hello, everyone.
Just got our live stream going. Had to see it come live on our channel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's gone off with that?
it's working.
Look at the picture.
That's really weird.
That is very weird.
Oh, it's because this is on. Look,
it looks like the camera's fogged up.
hang on. Let me turn the main light off as well.
Yeah.
Right.
No, the lens is.
That'll go off in a second.
Oh, you know what it is? It's facing the TV. It's using the wrong. Wow.
We are totally professional at this.
This should do it.
We are.
There we go.
We're the most pro. Oh, hey! We're there. Buffering. Well, I won't keep looking down at that because if you make a comment and we don't comment back, it's because
I'll keep my eye on it. I'll just turn this light on again.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you could do that with the camera.
That's amazing. I love our professionalism.
Yeah, that's
as we can see.
That's what happens when it's just two old fuddy-duddies.
Two old farts
watching movies,
trying to do something. Yeah. Like I say, we're yours, eh?
This is mine.
This is yours. And it's the new winter look to the house, isn't it?
Oh yeah, we've been spun round. Yeah, we have been spun round for the winter.
So your choice today?
Yeah, I went for Spaceballs by Mel Brooks.
I know.
A film I haven't seen like when I was young. The kind of silly humour appealed to me, and I watched it maybe 3 or 4 times. But I haven't watched it since then.
Wow.
I could only remember the end and the beginning. None of the bits in between. But you hadn't seen it, had you?
No, I've seen clips, but never seen the film. I mean, and when I say clips, I'm talking about stuff years and years ago. So like, I was aware of him being in it. That's cool. And I was aware of the fact he was like the Chewbacca character.
Oh, weird.
Didn't really know an awful lot apart from that it was Mel Brooks' idea of a parody on Star Wars.
Yeah, it's anyone that hasn't seen it. Yeah, if you've seen Blazing Saddles, how that's a parody of the like spaghetti westerns. This is his parody of basically Star Wars.
And I mean, if you know Mel Brooks, then you know exactly what you're getting yourself in for. If you don't know Mel Brooks and you're of a younger generation, it's hard to describe, because like of an older generation, you would say things like, well, Mel Brooks is the guy who kind of invented the comedy that was then used for films like Airplane and Naked Gun and stuff like that. Without Mel Brooks, you wouldn't have had that sort of comedy in their films, which is a very literal comedy, play on words, all silly gags. You know, they're throwing a gag a minute at the TV, don't they? And the film and stuff.
Quite childish and immature in a way, but at the time of when it was made, there wasn't really anything like it. So it didn't really seem as silly as it does now. Yeah,
it's like classic Airplane childish humour, but still quoted today. You know, surely you can't be serious. I am, and
don't call me Shirley.
Exactly, it's that kind of thing, right?
It is.
Here's a map. Really, a map? What can you make of that? Oh, I can make a bracelet, a helmet, you know, that kind of thing, right? But I mean, what made you choose? What made you choose?
Well, I heard a rumour. I don't know if I dreamt it. I always say, like, I can't remember if I actually dreamt it or not, that they're doing Spaceballs 2.
Really?
I'm not. I don't like to do research ahead because then I don't feel spontaneous on camera. But I think I saw it somewhere. Yeah.
Brooks is still alive, so
is he?
Yeah. So he would have. I don't know if he'd direct it. He's pretty old now, but I'm sure he'd have some sort.
He might write it.
He could write it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought, let's have a go at that, and I just wanted a bit of a laugh, to be honest, as well. Come here, you. Stop barking.
Well, I've got to. Right. Okay. So I've got to say, first of all, I'm bloody amazed that Lucasfilms gave him permission, because I mean, normally they make people jump through hoops, don't they, to do anything to do with Star Wars. They're so protective of it. So
I can't imagine they did give him permission.
Well, if they didn't, I mean, obviously as a parody, but did he get round it not using any of the actual names?
I think so. And there is like a creative law where you are allowed to parody stuff.
Right.
But yeah, he was close to the bone. And there was loads of stuff like Colonel.
Sanders.
He was a character, wasn't he?
Kentucky Fried Chicken. Colonel Sanders.
they like dug into a few, didn't they?
Well, yes, I mean, okay, so there's no way he could do them on names. So instead of Chewbacca, we got who's the brilliant John Candy. And he's brilliant in any. He could just sit on a sofa and
you can't take your eyes off him when he's on the
screen. John Candy, man. Let's see. I can't remember the name of the Luke Skywalker stroke Han Solo character. Something Lord, was it? Or
Star-Lord?
Star-Lord, which is amazing because now that's an actual name in the Marvel universe, isn't it? Star-Lord.
Hold on, isn't that Dan Lord's daughter?
Star-Lord it is.
Oh my God.
Did you know that, Lordy?
Maybe it wasn't Star-Lord. Maybe... No, it can't be. I think I said Star-Lord because of Dan's daughter.
Can't quite remember. I'm not sure, having only just watched it. But his name's not used much in it, is it?
No, and it's not a particularly funny name. It's
Helmet.
Oh, Lord Helmet.
Lord Helmet. Instead of Darth Vader. Lord. He was
Moranis.
My favourite costume.
Rick Moranis. He was good back in the day.
Ghostbusters, Honey, I Shrunk Kids. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, Lord Helmet, Colonel Sanders, Bath. There was Princess Vespa.
Oh, Vespa, which was never really... Never. No joke of that,
Your joke was really funny. I bet she gets ridden a lot.
Yeah, I thought, said to Gavin, as soon as we found out she was called Princess Vespa, they must have done it and had to cut it out or something.
I bet they did, because it's only certificate 12.
They went so close with a lot of things, didn't they?
God, so certificate 12, and you had jokes in there like, I bet she gives good helmet. And then he had one of the stuntmen, because Mel Brooks is Jewish, there was a lot of Jewish names in there.
Yeah.
Instead of the Force, it's the Swartz, and things like that. And yeah, I mean, one of the stuntmen had a Hitler. You saw that, didn't you? One of the stuntmen that they used when they were doing the joke or something had a Hitler tash.
Yeah, there was loads of Hitler jokes, wasn't there?
I mean,
there was a joke about Paris getting bombed in World War II.
The greeting that all the Spaceballs give each other to their Lord and Commander, who the president, who is Mel Brooks, is this.
Yeah, I mean, Star Wars was based on like World War II, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, that's right.
Even in I don't know. Have you ever seen the previs that Lucas did? And it's basically like
he had the fighter dogfights, didn't he, from the World War II films and stuff, didn't he?
They really like took it as far. I know we say it a lot nowadays, but you couldn't make that now.
No, the humour's not. It's not politically correct kind of humour. There's a lot of sexist kind of humour in there. You got women showing lots of cleavage and stuff in a couple of scenes and stuff, and it's a bit, it's a bit boys at school type sort of, know, a bit, But I mean, here's the thing, right? I don't know why I've never seen Spaceballs because I really like Brooks. I love my top three. First of all, in my top 5 comedies of all time, Blazing Saddles is in my top 5, right? And I always mention that, okay? That's not politically correct anymore. However, it's a bloody funny film. And I think that's Mel Brooks at his peak. So, I mean, my favourite 3 Mel Brooks films are, in order, favourite first, Blazing Saddles. It's very tight, this one, but I really, really love The Producers. Because I really love the musical on stage is fantastic. And I like the modern remake that did. But I love The Producers, and Young Frankenstein are 3 real standout Mel Brooks comedies. And I do think that's Mel Brooks in his absolute prime, especially Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles stands head and tails.
So where would I put this one, Dwizzle? I certainly wouldn't put this...
I feel this one's level. It's more like an oddity, isn't it?
Yeah, it is really.
It's very strange, actually.
I mean, I don't know if this has got to be one of the latter ones he's made, if not one of the last ones he's done, isn't it, Spaceballs?
I think it was probably the most popular as well.
Well, yeah, I guess because of the Star Wars link.
Possibly, yeah. But it's really odd how it'll go from looking like absolute shit.
Yeah.
To then suddenly going on a set and you're like, no way if they made that set just for this little quirky comedy. And it's a bit all over the place, and the humour is as well. Sometimes it's like, oh God,
some of it really hits.
About that.
Some of it hits, doesn't it? And then some of it's like, okay, tumbleweed. But yeah, as opposed to a film like Blazing Saddles, where it's just consistent. It's not got. That's it. That's the thing. It hasn't got the consistency.
True.
The comedy consistency.
It kind of feels like a first pass, kind of like everything could have been tighter and uniforms and weird. Right, tell me if I'm wrong, right? But in Spaceballs, I was amazed at how many times they broke the third wall and referenced the art of filmmaking and things.
Yeah, that's...
is that a normal thing?
It's something that Mel Brooks did. It was the first time as a kid watching a film, a comedy. The very first time I saw the fourth wall getting broken, right, was in Blazing Saddle, when right near the end they have the big fight and chase and blah blah blah, and the camera pans back and it pans back so you actually see that the West Town is actually a Hollywood set, okay, and then you get to see all the different people. So he's known for doing that sort of thing. I don't think he does break the fourth wall in The Producers. Young Frankenstein, he doesn't break the fourth wall. I don't.
Well, he did it in this loads of times.
He did it in loads. You saw the camera crew getting killed in the lightsaber battle. Yeah, as you say.
Even at the beginning, when there's a bit of expedition, he turns straight to the camera and goes, "Did you get that?"
Did you get that?
That's within the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, he did a lot on this one.
He did.
Yeah,
he did. What did you think then? Did you enjoy it?
Is it was it a Mel Brooks film that I'd rewatch? Probably not, if I'm be honest. I got what I wanted out of that. It was silly, and I laughed. The silly bits that got me did get me, I must admit, you know.
They were fun.
Yeah. But it really wasn't Mel Brooks of old that I really love, if I'm totally honest, but that's cool.
I'd watch it again with like kids and stuff.
I've never seen.
Maybe kids might find it slightly funny.
They'd find some of the humour funny, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
some of the silly humour. I just think it was. I just think his other films were cleverer.
Oh yeah.
The humour was cleverer.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, Gene Wilder. Gene Wilder. You know, sitting at the table as he's drunk and he's sitting at the table and he says, "I'm the you're supposed to be the fastest drawer in the West," and he holds his hand up and says, "Look at that, steady as a rock." And he's like, "Yeah, but and he puts his hand up from the table, but I shoot with that hand." You know, it's just, yeah, it's very clever. But I did enjoy it. It just wasn't. I don't think it was ever going to hit.
No, there were some elements of it that I thought were quite well planned out. So there's this massive the beginning we were in hysterics at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because there's with sci-fi movies, you start in space and then on screen becomes this massive space cruiser and slowly goes across and you see all the demons and it goes into a distance.
Yeah.
But it just kept going.
and
going. And then the shape of the cruiser made it look like it was going to finish. And we were like, he's not going to do it, is he? And then it came back round again. And I was watching the clock and it went on for 3 minutes.
I mean, that's a joke.
We were in hysterics. And the rest, none of the rest of the film stood up to that.
Nothing was as funny as that. No, it wasn't.
There was another really good bit at the end, which I thought, we were quite confused, but it was really clever, where the ship becomes a transformer.
Oh, yeah.
And it turns into a massive Statue of Liberty.
It's a maid.
It was
a maid with a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, which was really absolutely bizarre. But eventually the ship blows up, much like the Death Star, and the head and the arm start tumbling through space.
Yeah.
And then it lands on a desolate beached planet.
We got it straight away, though, didn't we?
We did get it straight away.
They don't show the head and the arm at first.
Let's not tell.
Oh, we do spoilers. We do spoilers.
No, I mean, like, if anyone wants to put.
If you want to watch Planet of the Apes. Oh God. Yeah. Okay. All right. If you're going to watch Planet of the Apes and you've it, go out the room. Don't watch this bit just for 2 minutes. Okay. So, all right. Hopefully that's saved
That's one of the most cinematic best moments in history
of sci-fi film ever.
Yeah.
Right. So those people that haven't watched Planet of the Apes have gone.
Yeah. So this film played on it. But they set it up right from the beginning. Yeah,
that's so clever.
That is really
clever.
That was clever.
And I think that's the thing. There were snippets of really clever stuff in there, but then there was lots of just daft stuff too. And it was filtering out the stuff and really liking that. And then, so for every really clever moment, there'd all be a moment where we'd look at each other and go, "What the actual?
Like, how did that get past quality control kind of vibe?" Yeah.
There's quite a bit of swearing in it for it. There was the naughty jokes.
A lot of sexism.
Yeah, lots of sexism. I bet she gives good helmet.
Yeah, there was another one, wasn't there? Like,
there was.
The maid sucking, but
blowing.
now she's on blow.
Blowing, she's sucking, now she's on blow.
And terrible. But let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
So if you had never Star Wars,
yeah,
what do you think you would have made of that?
Oh, God, that's a question, actually. Because of the amount it references Star Wars, which then makes the joke, like...
Because even the stories in Star Wars.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm convinced they used a shot from the actual Star Wars where the escape pod goes as well, but I don't think they could have done that because that would have got them into trouble for sure. John Hurt. Oh my God, sorry, out of the blue. John Hurt turns up. Yeah. And you have that big scene from Alien in it as well.
Do you think they were trying to get a sequel out of that? Like a Spaceballs Alien cross sequel?
Yeah.
Because the alien just ran off at the end.
Yeah, who's my daddy? That's so bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. Just seeing John Hurt in it though. That was mental.
Do you think you would have, what do you think if you hadn't seen
I'd not seen Star Wars? The jokes wouldn't have hit as much.
Nah.
Because you gotta, if you don't know at all, some of it you'd be like, I don't get it. Yeah. It's like when you see Lord Helmet for the first time, that is bloody fun. That actually was bloody funny when the thing slowly goes up, so you see his feet, legs and everything, then you get this massive Darth Vader helmet. And then every time the faceplate's down, he's put... So well, this is what I was saying. It was like, every time the faceplate comes down, he starts talking like this. But then when the faceplate goes up, he's then talking like Rick Moranis. It's just really daft.
It was really funny. So at the start, he's like... and then he's like, oh God, get this off.
Brief. Yeah, so like...
I think... Sorry to cut you off.
No, for it.
So I think, say something like Blazing Saddles, right? That's a rip on the whole spaghetti
whole
western genre, yes. Yeah. Whereas this is just one movie. Yeah. And I think this, it doesn't mean it can't be good and funny, but they definitely suffered from not having the scope of the whole genre to play with.
Yeah, totally. Tied into just the one set of... I mean, oh God, if Yoda was yogurt. Yeah. So if Yoda is in it, that's obviously been done after Empire Strikes Back then at least. Yeah. So that was 81, wasn't it? So this has got to be 82, 83, something like that.
Yeah. I thought, I was surprised, not that it's a film where you could take it seriously in any way, but there's no R2-D2.
No, they didn't have them. That would have been too difficult or too much money to probably have done.
True.
You know?
True.
I mean...
And also, I couldn't really figure out why they combined Han Solo with Luke Skywalker into a character.
Again, I bet that was more about making things cheaper to film and making it an easier script write, maybe, at a guess.
I think that's a good way to sum up the film, actually. It does feel like they've just done it as cheaply and as easily as they could.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm trying to think how long ago, how big a gap there would have been between him doing Spaceballs and his last really successful film. Because it might even be that when he wanted to do Spaceballs, there wasn't that many people throwing money at him to allow him to go and do something if he'd not done anything for years. I'm trying to think how old, like, Young Frankenstein was, and the producers, or how successful they've been in the movies. I know they're cult films now. I mean, even Spaceballs, I guess, a bit of a cult film, isn't it, for a lot of people?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah?
I felt it was for me.
Yeah.
Actually, but now I'm a bit older.
I mean, I'm really glad I've seen it, because now it means I can tick off just about every Mel Brooks film.
I think it's an interesting film. If you're interested in just the history of cinema, it's an interesting oddity touch. It is.
Yeah, like I say, without Mel Brooks, bless him, you would not have had some of the, from the 80s anyway, some of the always in the top 10 Airplane, isn't it, of comedy films?
Yeah.
Always. Even now. All Your Guns, you wouldn't have had. You know, Top Secret, for the first time we ever saw Val Kilmer, you wouldn't have had any of those films wouldn't have been happening because Mel Brooks started that kind of humour. I mean, talking about there's one, I mean, like you say, talking about breaking fourth wall. This wasn't even breaking the fourth wall. This was like a film within a film. At one point, he's like, well, what do we do now? And they're like, well, why don't we just get the video out and have a look? Because now they're doing video cassettes even before the film's done. So put a video cassette of Spaceballs and watch it. Fast forward it up to the point where they're at, and then they're watching themselves at exactly the same point where they're at, watching themselves at exactly the same point they're at. And it's, you know, I mean, that is still clever. I'm not.
That's a pretty good concept.
You know, you wouldn't. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen that done.
No, that's a good concept.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
that is a good concept. Because they didn't know what to do, so they wanted to fast forward, didn't they?
Find out what.
Yeah. You can film out of that.
Yeah, it's clever.
It was just like some weird bit that happened for about 2 minutes.
It's clever. It's just clever. You know what I mean?
It's frustrating. Clever. I think that's a good way to look at that film. It's slightly frustrating because it could have been, a lot. It could have been something a lot more impressive.
I think we've both hit the nail on the head when we've said consistency. It lacked the consistency. The screenplay lacked the level of consistency for laughs and humour and storytelling than I mean, like with Blazing Saddles, because you know Star Wars, you kind of always know where the story's going. Blazing Saddles was a unique story in its own, like that played on a genre, so they had more to play with as well. And you can watch that now and think. I mean, people talk about Blazing Saddles being racist, but actually it's not racist at all. The comedy about racism is always thrown into the faces of the people in the film who are being racist, never using racism as the joke. Does that make sense? Or explain that right?
Yeah.
So that's what makes Blazing Saddles so funny.
Yeah.
I mean, the lead guy in Blazing Saddles is a black sheriff who they make sheriff, and he's awesome in it. And his character's really, and he's the best character in the film, and whatever, with Gene Wilder and stuff following up. But the comedy that Mel Brooks writes, and you would imagine this too, because he's Jewish. His comedy isn't turned against the black man. It's against the white people who are racist, and that's who we laugh. That's who we laugh at what they do. So Blazing Saddles was a lot writing. The producers was a very clever written script. The producers, Young Frankenstein, again playing on that genre of, you know, bigger things. But with Spaceballs, you kind of already know the story going in. If you've seen Star Wars, he's a bit more limited with what he can do, perhaps with his humour. And it showed, to be fair. It showed.
Yeah.
He did. I like the way he sourced some of his music and stuff, though, from other films. So, like, you got to see. So, like, at one point he used the Jaws theme, and at one point when they're looking at the video cassettes, they've got lined up Jaws 1, 2, 3, 4, up to like Jaws 15 because of how far into the future it is. And they talk about, one of the guys talks, doesn't he, about Rocky coming out now, Rocky 100,000, yeah, you know. And you spotted, didn't you? They used the 2001 music.
Yeah, the big drums. Yeah, the dong, 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 dong.
Till the camera then comes around and it's just one of the Spaceballs.
And it is just one of the blokes.
Well, yeah, that's Mel Brooks, you know, that kind of thing, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, he referenced a fair few other films. I can't remember any now off the top of my head, but. Yeah, I think going back to what you were saying about use of racism and turning it back onto whatever. I felt it didn't have any of that depth, and it did try and touch on some racist jokes, but I felt they were just a bit racist.
Yeah, in this one, in Spaceballs, the jokes that he was making around Jewish. I mean, I don't know whether it's because he thought, well, because I'm Jewish, I can get away with it because I'm Jewish. So making fun out of Jewish people or people's expectations of Jewish people are.
He also tried to make fun of like some cultural things that I don't really want to go into. But I was like, that's definitely what he was making fun of. But he didn't say it really out loud, but it was really poor taste.
Yeah, it wasn't clever.
No.
It wasn't clever. It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't, and it didn't. It definitely didn't make us laugh out loud.
God no.
You know,
No.
it more. Well, I suppose the best word for some of that was cringe, wasn't it?
True.
In this day and age, it was. It's like what. It's like.
It was basic, very basic.
Yeah, basic.
And that's what made me say, like, it felt like a first draft script. And they were like, well, yeah, let's get it, because there was no subtlety of writing or anything.
Kudos to the person who probably didn't have very big budget with for doing all that things like costumes and sets, though, because without a big budget, they did what they could with the sets and stuff. Although we thought that one set looked like, my God, one set they walked into, and it looked like, well, that's where the whole budget of the film's gone then, because it was like Indiana Jones.
Yeah, but one of the characters said straight away, wow, it looks like Temple of Doom. And I'm thinking, I wonder if it's made just after Temple of Doom.
Well, that would have been
and they
early
were like,
80s.
Quick,
so...
let us use your set quickly for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Well, are you yourself as a model maker, painter? I don't really know how to.
Yeah, no, that's it.
Pigeonhole you, right?
Yeah.
What would you think to the model of the spaceship?
Well, actually, do you know what? When it was, although we were laughing at the time, as it was going across, the level of detail in that model was really good, and they had the little line and stuff like that. And you know, films that we know and love and treasure that have really cracking model work in, like sci-fi anyway, will be Alien, the Nostromo will be Star Wars, you know,
2001.
Yeah, all those things. And you know what? The model of the Spaceballs ship, the model of that ship, the detail in it was a very good standard. So they'd obviously had someone that knew what they were doing.
Because it was so long, that would have took a lot of work as well.
It would have taken an age amount of time.
Another old filmmaking technique that I was really impressed with was the matte painting.
Oh yeah, the matte painting was great, wasn't it?
It was fantastic.
My favourite matte painting was when they bring the ship in at the end back to Druidia, and you see the castle and all that sort of stuff, right? That was really good. Yeah. But the cleverest matte painting was the old school, which is how they really would use for sense of depth. And that was when he jumps out of the ship inside their own ship, and you see the corridor just disappearing off into the background.
It was incredible.
Great, wasn't it?
It was incredible. And I'm convinced that if you'd watched that back in the day without, the high definition TVs and things like that and the brightness, you would not be able to tell that wasn't an asset.
Well, until back again, showing our age now, but like back in the day when you'd see a film like Star Wars for the very first time, so you're talking 1977, you did not know how they did those effects because there was nothing on TV to show you. There was no books, no internet, none of this. So you just had to imagine, well, how the heck did you do it? And it was years until I found out that, for example, looking down, Vader comes in on his ship and he's got hundreds of stormtroopers inside the Death Star all lined up, and his ship opens and he starts walking. That majority of that was a matte painting with the stormtroopers thing. That was a matte painting. Wow. Yeah, and I didn't know that until one day I actually bought a making of book of Star Wars, and you actually saw someone had taken a picture of the guy while he was doing it, and he took all the stormtroopers were individually drawn and absolute skill, like complete art form.
I mean, like Star Wars completely revolutionary. It wasn't so big just because of the versus light narrative and the music and everything like that. The whole thing was so cutting edge. You're
really right, and George Lucas obviously it kind of invented a new technology for recording certain things, sci-fi stuff. But I watched a documentary and, I thought, I'm not being a big head here or anything, it's only because I really love Star Wars and stuff like that. So I know quite a lot of stuff about it, but you get to a point where you think, there can't be much more stuff to know about this particular film. I've lived with this film for like 40 plus years and I've soaked up everything I can about it whenever anything's been on. But there was a documentary on Prime, I think, something like that, that goes through how Star Wars was made and stuff. And what was amazing was that, like, and I never knew this, was that, like, Lucas had this budget and had given a load of this budget to the effects guys, and they were spending this budget and trying to stuff, and they'd been working on it for months and months and months, right? And up to the point where Lucas went to sort of find out how they were getting on what was already a shoot. He gets there and they've done like one shot. Yeah. And they were like, they'd done like one shot. So like, he was like, oh my God, this is just going to be an absolute disaster. And they had to send the money men in to the people, the special effects guys. And the special guys were just like goofing around. They'd made like an inflatable slide off the roof of the building that they were in to do they made an inflatable slide off into a pool. And when these guys actually turned up, they were all in trunks and that slide in. They were like, okay, we need serious here, guys. So yeah, so there were so many things that could have
Star Wars.
Yeah. And there were so many things that could have not happened that would have made that film not happen is untrue. But by knuckling down and sorting it all out, they then managed to invent the camera rig. So they actually had this camera rig that they invented and made specifically to then be able to run through the trench of the Death Star model and everything, and swoop in and do and cut and all this sort of stuff. It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, if you look at Star Wars with a analytical head on you, it seems impossible that could have been made in 1977. That's the magic of cinema, and that's what we're all looking for, that buzz of watching something and just being completely blown away. Completely taken out of your head, and it's just like, wow. Spaceballs didn't do that.
Spaceballs wasn't that film. Although there was one shot in it where I actually did go to you. Pretty impressive, actually. And it was when they blow up the ship.
Prop to that.
That looked great.
That looked incredible.
That looked great.
That looked incredible.
That was better than the original Death Star blowing up in the original Star Wars.
Yeah, it was.
Actually.
It was.
Cracking,
Respect. Yeah, that was an incredible.
I still think, though, my God, he must have. I mean, unless he got away with it because no one else saw it, but it was pretty easy. At one point, right near the end, they go to what is quite clearly homage to a restaurant at the end of the world. Yeah, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yeah. The ships that are parked up at this restaurant. One of them is the Millennium Falcon.
I didn't spot it.
So that's why maybe he got away with it then, because that's a definite reference to Star Wars.
Yeah,
like finger right on the money.
Oh.
So I mean, what are the permissions for that kind of thing?
Well, that's another film he referenced, isn't it? He referenced
Star Trek.
Yeah, there was like Beam Me Up.
Beam Me Up, Snotty.
Oh God. That was one funny bit actually when he had so basically the president of
he's the president
Spaceballs, is it? Yeah. He has to go and visit some people for a meeting and stuff. And someone says, "Oh, just to beam you up," and he was like, "I don't really trust it." It's all right, don't worry. And he gets beamed over, and it goes slightly wrong, and he gets beamed back again. And he's like, "I'm not doing that again. I'm walking. I'm coming over to see it." And he walks through a door, and it was just a room next door. And that was the build up for that, and the payoff was worth it.
That was really good.
Yeah. Whereas everything, like most of the film, like one-off kind of things that ran out of random, just quips and things.
I will say this though. As far as Mel Brooks is concerned, once you know Mel Brooks' kind of humour and you know your airplane kind of humour, even though you can see some jokes, even though you can see it coming, it is still funny when they happen.
Yes.
So a good example of that, right? And I'm surprised I didn't pick up on it actually until you said. I was like, oh yeah, and I was already laughing before it happened. They went, I know what we'll do. We'll jam the radar. We'll jam it. And you went, they're just going to throw a pot of jam at it. And I was like, and I started laughing already. And sure enough, to the radar, and a massive pot of jam smashes against the radar. And there you go. But I mean, that stuff makes me laugh. Cheap jokes about Jewish people directed at Jewish people doesn't make me laugh.
No,
because it's not clever. But I know that's stupid, but still found that funny.
Yeah, like you say, it's the consistency.
Yeah,
There's like maybe 14 really good jokes in there.
Yeah.
In between each one, there's like 8 really.
I'd say the hit and miss for that was about 1 in 3, wasn't it?
I'd say more than. Well, I'd say 1 in 5.
Yeah. Okay. I'll tell you what, there were some surprises in it though. Like I've already said, I was mega surprised John Hurt was in it. I was like, John Hurt, dressed in his full alien outfit and everything,
and you know the big guy out of Alien, who was the
Yaphet Kotto.
Was that him as well?
Oh no, he wasn't in that. It was only John Hurt that was there from the Alien crew. Yeah. But another surprise was seeing the lad from Police Academy. Now, if you know your Police Academy films, there's one guy in it that can do loads of really cracking audio effects just vocally, can't he? Like he can make the sounds of visors going up in his helmet really good. And he popped up, didn't he? And he was doing some sound effects, and that was really quite cool, actually. I like that. And then he started speaking on the thing in a really weird, crackly like thing, and he said, "Look, I can't. I'll come over." And immediately you're like, he's going to put that down, and he's still going to speak the same way, and he did. But it's still funny, and that's what I mean. You know, a really good joke doesn't necessarily have to be one that you don't see coming, and then you're like, oh, ha, ha. It can still be one that you can see coming a mile away, and then when it happens, it's still funny. That's a good joke. I mean, that is good.
It's good. It stands the test of time, because when you would have seen Spaceballs back in the day, you wouldn't have seen it coming, because you hadn't really seen that type of comedy before.
Not really.
But now we've seen it so often, we can predict what's going to happen. But yeah, if it's played out right, you're laughing at the presentation, aren't you?
Yeah. Like you said, I think, and again, this was a good point you just made. I'm not going over the whole thing again, but the payoff for a joke, if the build up to that payoff is done right, it's quite a big build up. When you then get the payoff, it can make it can either make it really, really funny, or it can just be like, oh, really? So, you know, it's a risk when you do a big build up, but there was 1 or 2 in there that the build up was great, and it paid off. I just, like I say, I love Mel Brooks's films, but I think anything that he did that was like pre-80s, which I believe is your Blazing Saddles, certainly early 80s. That to me was a bit of a lazy Mel Brooks feature. Younger Mel Brooks stuff though, fantastic.
Yeah, well, we'll have to go into Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, you like what are your favourite Mel Brooks films? I mean, I did mine. I went Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, the producers. No, went Blazing Saddles, the producers, Young Frankenstein.
Blazing Saddles is by miles.
For you as well?
It's barely even worth doing 2, 3 and 4, because Blazing Saddles is just so far ahead of everything. It's genius. But I did like Young Frankenstein.
You like that, yeah.
I did like Young Frankenstein, yeah. I can't really remember the producers. I know I've seen it.
So I do a lot of theatre photography, so I've been blessed with being able to see lots of free musicals and stuff like that. Before I'd seen the film The Producers, I got to see the musical The Producers at Theatre Royal's photograph, and oh god, it was so funny. So then I watched the remake of The Producers, and I found that really funny. So then I watched the original with Gene Wilder, the Mel Brooks original, and yeah, fantastic. So the premise of The Producers is a dead simple premise, right? So this guy recognizes that he can actually make a lot of money by getting loads of investors to give him money to put on a musical at Broadway. But if the musical bombs after like first night or so, he doesn't have to then continue showing it, but he gets to keep all the invested money. So he wants to try and make the best musical he can possibly make. So he makes a musical called Springtime in Germany. It's all about the life of Hitler. So a musical about the life of Hitler. Again, typically told by a guy who's actually Jewish himself. So again, it's very, very clever, because you're not laughing at poor taste jokes. You're laughing because the joke is always on the fact that you're laughing at the Nazis and the people that are doing them and stuff, as well as other funny characters in there as well. But the biggest joke of all is that he's trying to put on this show that's bomb. But Everybody loves it. And the big musical numbers. There's one number called Springtime in Germany, where they actually have proper goose stepping. One of the dance numbers is goose stepping Nazis and stuff. And you just think, oh my God. But it actually works. So he doesn't make loads of money, he loses. Anyway, it's just really funny. In the remake, it's Matthew Broderick is in it. And I can't remember the other guy's name, but very, very funny. Gene Wilder, like I say, he was one of the two guys. It's just, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a classic Mel Brooks.
Yeah. No, as you were saying it, I have seen it. Yeah.
You have seen it?
I have seen it.
Ah, yeah. Okay, good.
But I couldn't have told you what it was about until you just told me a bit.
Yeah. So, okay, do you know what? That's another thing. Mel's, like Young Frankenstein's a musical, isn't it, really? Well, it has a big musical number in it, doesn't it? The producers...
There's no music section in Spaceballs, there?
None, no.
Because he's very stagey, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Again, maybe budget, because they didn't have the staging.
Yeah, maybe. It did look... Mind you, I say it looked rushed, but they had to build all the sets and stuff. I know that they weren't like the top end set building
And the Mercedes
presentations.
The Mercedes car spaceship.
Yeah, really nice.
Looked awesome, didn't it?
Yeah. And there's a lot of different rooms and corridors they had to use, and so yeah, very confusing film. But I'd recommend it to
you go first.
People that are interested in just cinema enthusiasts that want to know about the history of cinema, and I'd recommend it to people like that. Possibly parents that just want something really goofy to show their kids, but the problem is, there is elements of racism and sexism in there, so I'm not too sure. But if it was any of my particular friends who were quite, no, I wouldn't recommend it to any of my friends. No.
Well, okay, that's a good shout. So you've shown me loads of films now. I think we're 35, 36 films, of which half of them are ones that you've chose for me to watch. And I've loved or got something out of everything you've shown me. In fact, I think there's not been one film you've shown me where I haven't scored really high or thought, I really got a lot out of that. Apart from Under Suspicion, that only one that you showed me that was a little bit, but there was still a lot of good, because that was a serious film. This one is probably my least favourite of all the ones you've chosen. For the reasons we've already talked about, and it's definitely my least favourite Mel Brooks film that I've watched because of the consistency, and that's what's let it down. The consistency and the writing. Like you say, I don't want to watch a comedy where I'm laughing my head off at certain things, but then in the next breath I'm like, oh God.
But I bet you're glad you watched it, though.
I'm very glad I watched it. Yeah, thanks for that, because I like seeing films that I've never seen before, especially older films, that I've never seen that, I probably should have. I like doing that. The way I would say this is, if I was going to talk to anyone about Spaceballs, I would say Mel Brooks did Spaceballs. It's a parody on Star Wars, but if you're going to watch a Mel Brooks film and you've seen one, go and get Blazing Saddles.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to score that because less than half the jokes hit.
Way less.
I'm going to give that 4 out of 10.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Actually.
About a 4 out of 10 for me. Four for the ones that really hit. I wish it was as funny as first 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Because that was bloody funny. If that's what I'd watched and then it ended, I'd be like, well, that's the most amazing comedy short.
We thought it was in for a cracking bit of a. Yeah, I'd possibly give it 5.
5 out of 10, yeah.
5 or 4.
So there you are.
It's probably the lowest rated film we've watched.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Even lower than the Poseidon.
Yeah, I think Poseidon was like 6.
That was the lowest up to this point.
Yeah.
I'd managed to find the film up to this point. That's made me quite happy, actually. I'd found the worst film that we've ever watched which is a film that I enjoyed because I chose the bloody. But you and Claire really didn't like it. Man on Fire, you didn't like that much, but even that I mean,
which one was Man on
oh,
Fire?
Denzel Washington set in Mexico, but you didn't
Oh
really,
yeah.
No, that's the bar that.
No, yeah, Man on Fire is still a good film.
Yeah,
It's still a good
that's
film.
that's the lowest bar.
That is a low
for quality.
bar. That is a low bar.
It's the lowest film for quality, isn't it?
Oh yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. But I do remember enjoying it as a kid. But like, yeah, not as an adult.
Well, the next film we're going to be watching is going to be at mine. It's my choice because the last couple of times, well, the last at mine was Jane's choice. So thanks, Jane, for that. So the next time we do one's going to be at mine. So in a few weeks' time, I get to choose one, and I'm going to give you a clue as to what it is, but nothing else. Okay, just a clue, one clue, which means this opens the door for hundreds of films, by the way. Steven Spielberg.
Okay, I'm really looking forward to watching Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
It's not that.
How many guesses do I get?
You can have 3.
3. I'm really looking forward to watching Platoon. No, that's not.
He didn't do that. He did Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan.
It's not that.
I'm really
great film though.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to watching E.T.
It's not that.
Good.
Okay.
The most overrated film ever made.
I don't like DT.
Don't you?
No.
I don't either.
Okay. No more clues. Look
All right.
away. The clues for the audience. Look away. Okay, that's it. Done. Right. Thanks everybody for watching. Hope to see you all soon.
Is water involved in this film?
There's water in it, but only a bit.
Nothing to do with drinking water past a certain time or anything.
It's not Gremlins. That's reserved for Christmas and Christmas only, and that was Joe Dante. He's in it. That's Joe Dante.
Yeah. Okay.
Although Spielberg's in that. Look, we're going off on a completely different
see you later,
tangent
guys.
here. Take care, guys.
Sorry
Thanks.
we've not posted for so long. We've had holidays and stuff to do, but like, yeah, 2 to 3 weeks. Let's do one at yours.
Yeah, totally. Mine's not the worst film now. Yeah.
Not for 2 weeks. Oh no! I've got to work out how to stop
Here
the
we go. I'll
stream.
just keep doing this until it switches
I never know how to.
Even though I'll drag it out.
I'll just keep you going. I know how to do it now. I'm just keeping you going. Bye.